I'm Melinda, and this is my channel, K.I.S, keeping it simple on keto. Today we're going to talk about what exactly keto is. Just going to give you a brief description of what keto is, how it works, and what kinds of foods you can eat on keto, and a couple of tips to help you if you're going to start doing this or thinking about doing this eating lifestyle. First off, what exactly is keto? Keto is short for ketogenic, and it is a eating plan, diet, lifestyle change that focuses on high fat for your diet versus high carbs, which we have been taught in the standard American diet that carbs are our friends and we should eat more of them. And that includes fruits and things of that nature. So, and this particular type of eating plan, your focus is going to be mostly on fats. I know that sounds like, wow, that doesn't even sound normal to ingest a lot of fat, but that's basically what this diet is. You're going to be eating 75% of your caloric intake each day will be fats. 20% will be proteins and 5% will be carbs. So you will be eating a very low amount of carbohydrates. I know that sounds really weird because, again, the SAD diet, standard American diet, says that we should eat more, but this is different. Kind of fats that you can eat on this particular eating lifestyle: you can eat butter, you can eat lard, you can eat ghee, which is a different type of butter. You can eat cheeses, high-fat dairy. You can eat avocados, olives, anything that's pretty much high in fat, you can eat it, except vegetable oil, soybean oil. A lot of the mayonnaises and things of that nature are made out of soybean oil. If you're having it on a small basis, it's okay, depending on how your body reacts to it. This is a personal journey, so everybody's body is different. You may be okay with ingesting the mayonnaise because you're not going to be eating mayonnaise all day, every day. And it's not going to be a large, you're not going to be frying in it or anything like that. So you may be okay. It may not spike your insulin or anything like that. But if you're having a problem as you go on, then you need to make your own mayonnaise so that you're not using the soybean oil. The basics is that you need to check labels, you need to read, you need to basically understand what you're putting in your body. A lot of times we assume things, and when we read labels, we find out, wow, I didn't know that was in there. I didn't know they added this. So I would recommend you to, when you do use any products, you want to read, find out what's in those ingredients, and to go from there. But pretty much you can eat butter. You can have coconut oil is big. It's something that you want to definitely put into your daily diet. MCT oil is another form. It's the same basis of what a coconut oil is on a higher end. So MCT oil is something that you can use. You can also use olive oil. You're not really supposed to fry in that. I do. I know you're not supposed to. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Coconut oil can be, the heat on coconut oil can be higher than it is on the olive oil, but again, it's not really ideal for frying, which is why a lot of people use the lard. You can do that. You can also use peanut oil in order to fry things. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can do that. So it's up to you what you want to do. Bacon grease, you can do that to fry things. Your bacon grease left over from eating bacon, that kind of stuff. So those are the types of oils that you can use, just a few of them. But you don't want to use anything that's man-made. You do not want to use canola oil. You do not want to use vegetable oil. Shortening is not, Crisco is not lard. So you need to get animal fat. That's pretty much what you want to get, is the animal fat lard. You do not want to get Crisco because that's not the same thing. Other fats that you can eat are full-fat dairy products, sour cream, cottage cheese, yogurt, heavy cream. These are your friends. uh, it's awesome that you can use these kinds of things. Cheeses help a lot of your recipes. You don't want, some people are can have some issues with cheese. You might want to keep it between 2 to 4 ounces a day. If you're not finding that you're having any problem with cheese, then you can eat more. But usually the rule of thumb is between 2 to 4 ounces. Much any dairy product that's high in fat, you can use that. Do not get the low fat, because you don't have to. You need to get the full fat dairy products. So there's a lot of different fats that you can eat and ingest that are going to help you to keep your fat levels as high as they need to be. What kind of protein can you eat? Pretty much is open to anything that is pretty fat. Anything that has a lot of fat on it, steak, fatty steaks, ribeye is obviously the best type of steak that you can get out there, but there are others that do have the fats on there. You can see them. I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to certain cuts, but you can do your research and find out which cuts are the fattiest. You can purchase those. Hamburger meat, you want to get the fattiest hamburger that you can get. Some people do grass-fed. If you're into, hormones and you don't want to eat those kinds of things and ingest that kind of stuff, by all means, you can invest in that. But if, you're on a budget and you really can't afford that right now, you can just get regular meat. Everybody is on a different level of where their health and what they're trying to do in their life. And if you really can't afford to do grass-fed animals, or same thing with your butters, that kind of thing, some people will get the Kerrygold butter. And I get it sometimes when I can afford it, and when I can't, I just get regular butter that's pasteurized and salt. That's fine. Absolutely fine. You don't want to get into natural flavors, because we're not too sure what is a natural flavor that they're adding in there. So you want to kind of stick to pasteurized milk and salt. So, again, it's all about you and where you're at and what you want to do and what you can afford to do, but it still works whether or not you use grass-fed or you use regular. So you can get pork, any fatty pork portions, pork chops, pork steak, which is one of my favorites. Honestly, I couldn't even eat pork before when I was combining it with the higher carbs. It would make me sick. I would get headaches, but now I don't get any headaches at all. It's my favorite. Actually, I eat a lot of bacon and I eat a lot of pork steak. So I use the pork rinds as a base to fry if I want a crispy meat, because you can't use the flour, and almond flour really isn't that great when you're making, if you're trying to reenact something that's crispy, just try to put that on to coat it. I personally don't like the almond flour. Some people may, I don't. But the pork rinds, you can use pork rinds and mash those up and then coat it just like you would do shake and bake. It's an alternative to shake and bake, and it's absolutely delicious. It's got a lot of flavor. You got the bacon flavor, and it really brings out the flavor of the meat that you're frying. So try that. But any fatty meat, dark chicken, my favorite. Only reason why I started eating chicken breasts was because everyone said dark meat was bad. So I'm so happy to go back to leg quarters and fry those up and make them eat the skin. I love skin. So, my favorites when it comes to meat, I'm eating. So anything that you like, if you like gamier meats, you can eat those. You can have fish, seafood. Salmon is a fattier fish, but you can have other fish, but you would need to be you need to make sure that you're adding fat onto the fish. Same thing with chicken breast. If you want to eat chicken breast, fine, go ahead and do that, but just understand it's not going to help you with your fat intake. You're going to need to put something fat on it or cook it in something fat in order to keep your fat percentages where they need to be. So just play around with it, get some recipes, look into it a little bit more in depth. Again, this is just a basic overview.